a long zero.
Welcome to Zero Credibility Sports. I'm joined with Justin today. What's up?
Hello. I don't think you have to introduce me like every time I'm joined with Justin today. I think that's the expectation by now, right?
Who knows, man? Maybe one day, it might happen again. What happened just a few weeks ago might have happened again, and you might have been replaced. Who knows, man?
That's true. It's so ruthless here, man.
Yeah, it's just like the NFL, man. You don't know when you can get traded.
Is it like the NFL? Is that what the NFL is like? I'm not too sure what the NFL is like.
The NBA, you can be traded away just like Derrick Rose. You just you think everything's all right, then you're the superstar of the team. Then next minute, you're playing at the Timberwolves.
I don't think Derrick Rose was traded without, he wasn't the superstar of the team at the time anymore.
Yeah, but
he saw us on the way out anyway.
He was the brand of the team at that time.
No, I don't think so. I think that by that time it was Jimmy Butler's team because Derrick Rose was out injured. I think maybe like Harrison Barnes is probably a better example. Was it Harrison Barnes? He was traded while he was on the bench.
Yes, Harrison Barnes. Yes, he was. Yeah. Yes, yeah, he was.
I think that's a better
Yeah, that could happen. Midway through this episode. Wait, what? Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, wait. Who? No, but you're not the superstar of the show.
Yeah, neither is Harrison Barnes.
Okay, fine, done. You're Harrison Barnes. All right, let's go. Let's get into the show. All right, we're gonna talk about basketball. I'm gonna talk about the first rounds of the playoffs. So I think most teams have played their second game in the series already, and let's talk about the surprising results. So obviously, it's first game of the playoffs. There were quite a few surprises actually. I think the Raptors lost to the Magic at home in Toronto, which is very surprising. They don't usually lose in Toronto, and the Warriors dropped the game against the Clippers after leading by 31 points. I think
that was in game two.
That was game two. After demolishing them in the first game. So I think let's go into that game first. I didn't watch the game, but I remember looking down at my phone after third quarter. I was like, oh, it's over. It's Warriors take another game. It's going to be a sweep. Next minute, Lou Williams shot the lights out again. Speaking
of Luke Walton, new coach of the Kings, by the way.
Is he?
Yeah.
But Sacramento did so well with the current coach. What happened?
I don't know. Owner didn't like him or whatever. Got rid of him. Brought in Walton. Anyway, he says he has big plans for DeAndre Ayton next year. We'll see. I think that one will really that job will really be a test for, or rather, I think it'll enable people to see whether Luke Walton's a good coach or not.
Yeah, when he left, I think Steve Kerr went on the record and say they lost a really good guy and a good coach. So I think he's really highly thought after, I think by the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, but I think in the amongst at least public opinion, I think there's still question marks over his ability as a coach. I mean, let's not forget, he started off as assistant to Steve Kerr, or rather he rose to prominence as assistant to Steve Kerr, and then he took over Steve Kerr's job for a bit when Steve Kerr had the operation, and then but then it became a sort of thing any coach will be able to coach the Warriors to win. You know what I mean? And then he got the Lakers job off of that, and then at the same time they had LeBron. So then it becomes a question of who's really the coach there? And then So now I think it's a good opportunity for him to prove himself.
Quick side question: you reckon if Steve Kerr goes down, and you just left the Warriors to deal with the playoffs themselves, you still think they'll come out on top? I still think they'll come out on top. I think.
Likely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, most likely. I think most likely, yeah.
All right. Anyways, back to that game. So you reckon Clippers would take another game, or that was just like a major blip?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they'll take another game or whatever. I mean, but in all honesty, I don't think it matters. You know, like, you know, at the end of the day, the question is, will the Warriors win the series? And the answer to the question is yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think like they're quite. Let's get like, you know, let's talk through all the like series that, like, you know, pretty straightforward now after looking at all the results. I think the Milwaukee Bucks seems like dead on to, you know, run through the Detroit Pistons. They might like take a game. I don't know if Blake is going to come back because I know he didn't play the first game.
No, Blake is probably going to be out for the first round. But whatever the case, I think that I think there's two matchups where it's clear that it's clear who will go through, right? One of them is the Bucks matchup.
Yeah.
Right? The other one is the Houston matchup, Houston and Jazz. I know you think there's one more. I heard that, by the way. I know you think there's one more.
Phone, by the way, it's the computer, but yes.
Then you should turn off the computer. Like, I mean, turn off that thing in the computer.
Turn off the app. Yeah, I did. Yeah. All right. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, I think there's there's a third one which you think is very clear, but I don't think so.
The Celtics?
No.
Oh no, the Portland Thunder game.
Yes.
I think like, you know, from what I think Dame's another guy who's like, I think, like, you know, got more playoff experience. I mean, he's been in the playoffs a few times, but I don't think
he does not have more playoff experience than Paul George and Russell Westbrook.
No, he doesn't. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he has got like way more than the years that before. I'm saying he's definitely.
I mean, yeah, every year that he gets playoff experience is one more year than he had previously. Yes, you're right.
One thing, he's definitely, like, you can definitely say he has playoff experience. That's what I mean. Rather than just like, I'm not not just because he had been to the playoffs once, but I mean he's been there like a few seasons already. So I think this year he's been like, you know, I feel like much more turned on compared to the, like, you know, previous seasons where they will always be talking highly of the Trailblazers to make it to like the next round at least, and they will drop out of the first round. So, you know, and then now there are like a lot of, like, you know, interesting articles saying that, you know, Russell Westbrook's game is not made for the playoffs. You know, Paul George is not turning up as well, not turning on his MVP form he had during the regular season. So it brings up big question marks whether they can overcome the Trailblazers. Because I think we both were on the same side thinking that the Thunders will come out of this series, right?
I mean, I think, yeah, you're right. I thought the Thunder will come out of this series. I think this series is far from over, though.
Okay.
I do think that this, you know, even before the matchup started, I did think that this is one of the closer matchups.
Yeah.
In the first round, not purely by you know, a seeding or ranking perspective, but also by a match from a matchup perspective, you know. So yeah, you know, I think that if you ask me now, like, do I think the Thunder will go through? I'm not sure. I will probably say I'm less confident than I was previously, but I definitely don't think the series is over. Like, could I see the Thunder coming back and winning 4 games? Yes, I could.
Sure,
could I see the Blazers sweeping the series 4-0? Yes, I could as well. So
that's what I'm saying. After like looking at the box scores and watching the videos of the first 2 games, it seems like Dame might have like developed a new playoff gear, and, you know, he came out this. I mean, I don't know if he probably comes out every season and says this, but he said he's one of the best players ever. He didn't even say I'm one of the best players in the league. He went out and said I was one of the best. I'm one of the best players ever to play this game. So, you know, maybe he developed a new gear, and like the Trailblazers surprised, I think, a lot of people in where they finished this season.
Yeah, I think so. Although, I mean, I'm not sure because I know a lot of experts put them quite high up, though. I know we didn't, but I know a lot of experts did rate them. So yeah. I'm not sure about that. The thing about Lillard saying he's one of the best players ever. So, there's no doubt that he himself does not believe that. But it's just something that you have to say to G yourself up.
That being said, do you think Dame gotten better this year?
I think he has. I mean, he's a leader of the team now. Mm-hmm. Like, he's a leader of the team now. So
wasn't he the leader before?
Hello?
Wasn't he the leader before?
I mean, yeah, he has, but I think it's also a matter of like him maturing a bit, and him really taking the mantle and running, right? Like, I remember, I was gonna say, like, he has a bit of a chip on his shoulder. Like, I think he, and I think a lot of that has to do with like not being an all-star. Mm-hmm. He's developed that chip on his shoulder over the past few seasons. And yeah, like if you want to talk about a player that's like getting mean, I think over the past few seasons, Damian Lillard is definitely one of those guys.
Yeah. His numbers, like, I think essentially the same, even though like you could, it all has decreased, but marginally. Yeah, it could have been the case. I think the fact that the Portland Trail Blazers made this far in the regular season, and they've been beating OKC quite comfortably. And do you see the House of Highlights video where like he dropped back-to-back threes, and after he dropped the second three, he was like bombs away. I thought it was great, and I think it's really good to see like Dame go against Russell.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think that there's a lot of big calls that you're making after 2 games.
That definitely take it. I think.
Yeah, because I don't think they'll ever take it. Like one thing is because in the first 2 games, I think I think we can say that one of the reasons that the Thunder aren't doing well is probably because of I think it lies a lot with Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Shot efficiency, turnovers, definitely. Yeah. But that's been the Achilles heel in this game, like for the longest time.
Yeah.
But
especially you have someone who would convert that turnover with like CJ McCollum, sorry, and Dame on the other side. I don't think that's like the smartest thing to do. I'm not saying Paul George is not like performing. He like in the last game he dropped 27 points. But it's about
there's also this thing where like Paul George is injured, right? So but credit where credit's due. He's not playing it up. He's not talking about it. He's not using it as an excuse. Yeah. So credit where credit's due there. But yeah, I think as much as it's easy to see that Russell Westbrook has been a bit of, rather is not pulling his weight.
Yeah.
Like it's Russell Westbrook, right? We've all seen he can have bad games and he can have amazing games.
Yeah.
So over the course of this series, I wouldn't be surprised if he has a few amazing games. And when he has an amazing game, the Thunder will win. So yeah, I think the series is far from over. And then, but what will happen is that in the next game, the Blazers will be 3-0 down.
Oh, you mean like what do you mean 3-0 down?
No, don't worry.
Well, I didn't hear you.
Don't worry.
Okay. Anyways, but yeah, no, but I'm very confident that Portland will go through. That being said, you can you like make a prediction of a sort or no?
I mean, I think if you put a gun to my head today, I'd still stick with
the Thunder.
I still stick with the Thunder just to show that I'm a man of my convictions.
Fair enough. But, okay, fine.
But yeah, I won't deny that it is looking a bit. I'm definitely not as confident as I was at the start. To be fair, and I wasn't that confident to begin with.
Yeah, no, I think
listen to the recording.
I don't know whether we were both in agreement, but I think we said it would go 7, right? And it very well might still go to 7. But I'm think like after the 2 games and seeing like the way Dame played, even though they're both at home, right? You never know. But I think after like looking at it, I'm convinced by Damian Lillard that they'll go through. I'm not saying comfortably. I think they'll might be 5 games, might be 6, but I still think they'll go through. I think,
I mean, I think that's a fair call.
So,
but like I said, I'm sticking behind my prediction because I'm a man of my convictions.
Okay, you get it. Okay, then Denver and Spurs. I think that's interesting. That's an interesting one. Do you think it's possible for Spurs to go through?
No, I don't think so. I think that's. Sorry, you go.
You go.
I think that the Spurs, I like them. I like the Spurs because I respect their coach a lot. I respect Popovich a lot. I respect a lot what he does for the team, for the organization. A lot of people in the game respect him. A lot of people out of the game respect him. A lot of players respect him.
Yeah.
So that's one. But I just think that in terms of the way that they play and the matchup with the Nuggets, I just don't think it's a strong matchup for them. The Nuggets have so many weapons, whereas the Spurs will continue to play the Spurs way. And the problem with the Spurs way, even though it is changing slightly, the Spurs way is the Greg Popovich way, right? Yeah. And essentially the Spurs way is to score 2-point shots. Yeah. A lot of mid-range. And in the modern game, or in the game, the way that it's played today, a team that plays that has a lot of emphasis on mid-range shots are not going to be the ones that are going to win the game. Yeah. So the Nuggets, they're just too good. I think it's and they've got they've got a good young core, and they've got Nikola Jokic. So like I did think that the Spurs would take a game. I do think the Spurs can take more games, but I don't think that they'll win the series.
I don't know. Because I really like the Spurs. Like, I like the way they play. I think you're right. Like, the Denver Nuggets definitely have more. I would say more talent, more and more weapons. Like I agree with you. But you never know, man. Spurs have I like to say probably more playoff experience compared to the Denver Nuggets. So you never know, man. Pop might pull something out of his sleeve, but unlikely. So if I had to go for a prediction, I'll probably go Denver, but I think it will go 6 or 7 games. I feel. Because they managed to take a game away, And I think Spurs would be really tough to beat at home.
I mean, I think regardless, it doesn't matter. Like,
true. Okay,
I think Nuggets are winning the series, and that's what matters.
Okay. I think on the other side, Milwaukee beat the Milwaukee Bucks game. I think that's dead. We all know. I think the Bucks are going to go through. The Celtics. I think the Celtics are going to go through.
So Celtics that play well, man. Like
Kyrie dropped 37 points last game.
But the thing about game 2 was that it's not just Kyrie; it's the whole team.
The whole team,
the whole team that played well. So I think that that's important. Like for Boston in particular, that is important. Just because how many games this season have we seen Kyrie get a triple double or score 40 points or whatever, and the Celtics lose. Because
I think they realize it's it's playoff time. There's no more time to fuck around, or who knows? Maybe they've managed to fix their dressing room over the last few weeks, or the last 2 months, 3 months maybe.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that because towards the end of the regular season, they're still doing the same shit pretty much. But it's more like maybe. Like, I think everyone can agree that the problem with the Celtics is some sort of chemistry issue.
Yeah.
Right? But I think maybe some players have decided, let's put that aside for now while we're in the playoffs or whatever. I definitely don't think their problems are fixed. Like, I don't think there's a long-term solution. But I just think, for whatever reason, they've come together in the first 2 games. But then again, this team seems fragile, right?
Definitely.
It could just be they lose the next game, have one bad game, and then it all falls apart.
Dressing room goes shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So
last game, Irving and Tatum both
still in the balance.
But the last game, Irving, Tatum both carried a heavy load for the team.
Yeah. They both. I didn't expect them to win both games by now, though. I didn't expect them to win both games.
But they don't have. Do you know the Pacers don't have Oladipo?
Well, yes, I know that because he's been out for like more than half the season.
Yeah, so like that could play a big part. That Pacers might look good during the regular season, but they don't have that extra oomph for the playoffs. So yeah.
Have you not been following this? Like Oladipo's been out for half the season.
Yeah, was he out since that time? Like he was supposed to play. Oh no, yeah, he's been out for like 3 months, right, or something.
He's been out for a long time. True. And the fact that the Pacers have finished where they finished already was like, oh, maybe this team is more than just Oladipo.
Or maybe the East is just really, really like the bottom, fourth place bottom, like fourth place down. I think they're just maybe really weak. Who knows? Could be, right?
I mean, could be, but I mean, there's no doubt the Pacers are a better team with Oladipo. But I think even without him, they were playing some good stuff, and they were winning some tough games. I mean, I think Bogdanovic was the guy that really stepped up. His game became, I think he was a second or third option before Oladipo went down, and now he's the first or second option. So that's good for him. But yeah, like I don't think the fact that Oladipo is missing is a factor in these playoffs, in the sense that like nothing has changed for them. They've been playing without him for a long time now.
We both I think during our predictions we both still thought that they'll go through comfortably. So, and I think it's been shown, the results have shown that. And now on to the Celtics.
I didn't think they'll go through comfortably. I said that this is probably one of the toughest matchups to pick.
Okay.
I said they will go 7 games.
Oh, you did? Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. But who knows, man?
I mean, you don't think so now after you've seen 2 games. Go back and listen to what you said last week.
I think Terry Rozier... okay, if Terry Rozier starts a fight, Scary Terry starts a fight with the team, maybe that might happen. Okay? But after looking how they turned it on over the last 2 games... mine's changed. Celtics are going to go through. They're going to play the Bucks. And I think, that would be a very interesting matchup. On to the other branch of the playoffs. Brooklyn Nets, Philadelphia 76ers. Brooklyn Nets took the first game.
Yeah, the Sixers destroyed them in the second game.
Yes, destroyed them. So, from the first game, you probably could, we've all known this, Joel Embiid is their most important player. But do you think that was just a lucky one-off from the Nets?
I mean, in the playoffs, every team is going to have a shot. I don't think there's that. But that's the thing about basketball, right? Every team can sort of beat anyone in a one-off game, right? But that's why the playoffs is over a series of games, right?
Yeah.
So talking about these one individual games in a vacuum, I feel is quite. It doesn't mean much, right?
Yeah, no.
But you look at it in the context of a series.
Yeah, no. I'm asking what you've seen so far. Do you think the Nets would take one more game or take any more games?
I mean, they could. But the fact here's the fact of the matter: they could win 2 more games.
But 76
I still see the Sixers going through.
Yeah. Agreed. I think they'll go through very comfortably. What about the Raptors?
Raptors go through as well. I don't think the Magic are good. I think just purely talent-wise, the Magic aren't good enough.
Yeah, I think the first game was just a blip. Second game, Raptors routine. Win at home. Toronto, now they're going to head over to Orlando. I think they'll finish the job in 5 games. I don't think Magic will take any more games. And I think that's the conclusion of the NBA. Now to the golf.
Yeah.
So Tiger Woods, against a lot of people, against a lot of odds, managed to win his first Masters in 11 years. What was your feeling when you read the news the next morning? Because I know you probably weren't aware of it till the morning, right? Till the morning after.
I mean, my first feeling was, I didn't even know they were playing the Masters.
Oh, shit. Were you like, oh shit, he won. I didn't expect him to win, or
I mean, I guess sort of. I mean, it was definitely a big. I mean, it's definitely big news. I think there's no doubt about that.
Mhm.
I think. I mean, my reaction wasn't very, how to say. I didn't have a massively big reaction, but it was also it's probably because I don't really follow golf that closely, and also because I didn't know it was going on. I didn't know that, the progress of the tournament, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, but it was
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I think I started following like the day by day. I think after the first day he was like tied for six tied for six or something. The round two and round like the first 3 days he was always within within reach. The second third days he played really well and he got within the top 10 for the fourth day. So I was like, oh okay, he has a chance. He's the people in front of him was like guys were like European PGA Tour champs like Molinari and Brooks Koepka, another good American golfer, Dustin Johnson, all these guys. So I was like, oh shit, this might be a good round of golf. And I don't watch. It probably is like if Tiger wasn't in it, it'd still be good anyways, because all these are like the new age golfers. So for me, it was just more of like I decided to watch it because of Tiger Woods. I kept telling everyone around me that he will definitely win the Masters this year after the last championship he won during last season. And
did you know?
Yeah, no, just like hey, even though he won that like small.
All right, I mean, no, that's fine. Like, we'll take your word for it. We'll take your word for it.
Yeah. So I don't know. So I was like, oh, this might be the one. I was in the office telling everyone like, I think he might win. He will win a Masters this season for sure. And a lot of people will, didn't think he would ever win one ever again. They think like he will win a small tournament every now and then, but he wouldn't win like one of the Masters. And I said I think he might win one. And true,
Oh, you say you think he will win the Masters for sure.
I think he will win one Masters. He will win one like Masters tournament for sure.
Okay. I mean, look, I don't have any evidence to dispute you, so I'll just say okay.
So he did. He won one, and like I thought it was a really I was watching this. This was going on while the while the Premier League match between Liverpool and Chelsea was going on. And I thought this, I was surprised that this, kind of caught my eye more. As in, like, I decided to stick like my eyes. I spent more time watching the tournament than I did the Chelsea Liverpool game, which Liverpool
big golf fan. Huh?
Yeah, and I'm not even a big golf fan. It's just that I think I'm a big Tiger Woods fan, or maybe I'm more into the big comeback story, of Tiger Woods after all the scandals and all the lows he has experienced over the last few years. So I think it's probably I think it's a really good story, like in for sports, as a big comeback story.
Yeah, I mean, I don't deny that. I think that is definitely a big story. That's definitely true. I'm just surprised to hear all this because I've never heard you talk about golf before.
Because I don't think because to be fair, I'm not like a big golf fan. But when Tiger Woods started coming back, I started investing my time into Tiger Woods, obviously. And yeah, I think I'm not a big golf fan, but I've started watching it over the last 2 years, and after watching the Tiger Woods tournament, I think I will probably watch it more. And yeah, no, I just wanted to tell you that last on the fourth day, I've never seen a golf tournament so lit. I've seen like a few tournaments, but everyone was at this Masters. Wayne Rooney was there, Michael Phelps was there, and I think it was crazy. The atmosphere was crazy. I know it's probably hard for you to believe that the atmosphere of a golf golf tournament is crazy. But this golf tournament is crazy. Every hole from the 9th round onwards, you would hear like a big crowd cheer, which I think is very surprising. Usually they only cheer close to the last 5 rounds, but this was from the first the first 9 rounds to the last 18, the last 7-9 rounds, and it was crazy. And I think this is good for the game of golf, because I think without Tiger Woods, I don't think it's, as interesting. If you think about when Tiger Woods won, the news for like this tournament was way bigger than it would be if it was someone else.
I mean, there's no doubt, but I think that's more because Tiger Woods has mainstream recognition more so than any other golfer ever had. Like Tiger Woods, and this is even before his
scandal,
his issues with like even before his personal life came out. He was one of those guys that transcended his sport, right? Like he was a mainstream, he transcended into the mainstream, right? He was a guy that's bigger than his sport.
Yeah.
After his personal issues came out, he became even more of a mainstream figure. So, you're right that, he's that this win, has given more courage to Tiger and the Masters than it would have if any other player had won.
Yeah. No, I think there's something more to it as well. I think Tiger Woods is so big in sports in general because, like, if you think about it, if you're like the best at a sport, they would say you're the Tiger Woods of like table tennis, or you're the Michael Jordan. There's only a very few people that would use to reference as in like how dominant you are at your sport. And it will usually be like Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan. I think that's about it, right? Like these were the two, or maybe even Roger Federer, like less than a decade ago. I think these were the few. So like I think that's why it was such a big deal. If you think about it, even though after a scandal, you thought, like, I think a lot of people were saying that, oh, this is the end of Tiger Woods. Then he had that second back surgery after he tried to come out of his scandal, and it didn't really come off. I mean, come off for him while he was recovering. No one thought he would, come back and play. And this is not too far off when he, that famous mugshot he had for driving under the influence of his like painkiller drugs. So I think this is a fantastic story. Do you manage to watch the Nike ad?
No.
Go watch the Nike ad. That Nike ad they had for him was really, really good. And I think it will be very inspiring for a lot of sports people. I mean, Nike just did a really good job of making a really bomb-ass ad. And you know what? I don't think he will. I think the next question would be: Do you think he will match Gary Player's? Jack Nicklaus' total amount of Masters, or even beat it? Oh, I don't think so, but I hope so. I hope he does. And yeah, I think that is it. Shall we talk about football?
Yes. Let's
go. Okay. Let's go. This after last week's like predictions. Let's run through. I think this is how we do it. Let's run through what we predicted was going to happen and what really happened.
It's very easy, Peter. There are 4 ties. You got 3 wrong.
Okay. Let's go one by one. Let's go. Let's put through the I don't think the non-exciting ones, which is the Liverpool Porto one, which is the one I got right.
Yeah, I think it's the one that everyone got right.
Yeah. Okay. So Liverpool got through comfortably, 4-1 victory. Interesting point was that the guy who scored for Porto was the guy who's going to move to Madrid, Eder Militao. That's just a fun fact I just wanted to throw out there. Quite dominant victory. And now they're going to face the winner of the tie between Manchester United and Barcelona. And the result was United got trashed at the Nou Camp.
I don't think you need to tell people the result. I'm pretty sure people all know they don't listen to this podcast to know what the result is.
True. But I just wanted to, just add some excitement. And yes, okay, United lost. Yes, I predicted United go through, but when it comes to United, I think with my heart more than I think with my head. So yeah, I think it was
Did you watch
I
the
didn't
game?
expect them to get beat. No, did you?
I watched the game. So
Come on, tell me.
United started really, really well.
The first 15 minutes, right? I heard they were hot. Like, McTominay.
They started really, really well. And then they made two individual errors.
You
right?
mean Ashley Young? Yeah, I saw the Ashley Young one for the first one, and the second one was a De Gea. Yeah, so they self-imploded.
Yeah, so they made two individual errors, right? And then Barcelona scored off both of them. Or rather, to put it more accurately, Messi scored off both of them.
Yeah.
And once you're 2-0 down, right? Like, you could tell the game was over. Like, you could tell that there was no more belief within United. Because the funny thing is, even at 1-0 down, I feel like there was still belief. You could still see sort of the belief within the team that they needed to do it. Because I think regardless of Barcelona scoring that one goal, I think United sort of knew going into the game that they're going to have to score two, right? So their game plan doesn't change, right? They still just need to score two goals, right?
Yeah.
But once you're 2-0 down, I think it's over because then you need to score three. And then what Barcelona does is they just play their normal, like, and they're probably one of the best teams in the world at doing this. Like, their little like keep ball game, right?
Oh, tiki-taka?
I mean, tiki-taka is not the best because I think they've moved on. Like, tiki-taka has evolved, right, from the time when it was actually tiki-taka. But regardless, but something along those lines, right? Something along those lines.
Yeah.
So they're probably one of the best in the world in being able to do this. So, like like you could tell like the team had, Man United had sort of no, like, there was not so much belief that they could go and score three goals at the new camp.
The life sucked out of them when De Gea tried to make that simple save and it went through, right?
I mean, I mean, maybe the manner at which they considered a goal was could have been deflating, but I think it's the fact that they considered a goal, and especially so quickly
after a hot run
after the first goal went in.
Yeah.
So, like by that time the game was over. I think most fans knew it. I think most of the players knew it as well.
Did you go back to sleep?
No, I didn't. But it wasn't surprising. In the end, it was pretty straightforward. Like, but it's just two individual errors, and Messi had a great game actually.
So I think the topic would be. So let's talk about United then. Do you want to talk about United? I think it's a great time to talk about United then. I think after this game,
I don't know if there's much to talk about when it comes to the Champions League because to me this game was pretty straightforward.
All right,
there's not that many talking points in this game.
Let's talk about United when the season comes to a close, or when there's like when there's after they play both City and Chelsea. I think that would be a good time to talk about them. Right? Okay, Barcelona through. They're gonna face Liverpool. Let's talk about the other two games. The two.
Yep.
Let's talk about Juventus and Ajax first.
Yep.
So, going into the second game, Juventus were at home this time, and they managed to lose the game. They didn't even draw. And got knocked out. They got beat at Turin, 2-1. So, were you flicking the channels in between?
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. I didn't watch this game live. Because these games were this morning. I didn't watch them live. But yeah, remember I told you I think this game has the biggest chance of being an upset. Because I think of the matchup, of the way that they match up. And like sure enough, like this game, like the difference, the contrast in styles again was very apparent.
Yeah.
And I remember I said like Ajax, I can see Ajax going to Juve and winning because the way that they play is very suited for an away game. Yeah.
Just fast passing, fast moving of the ball, counter-attacking football.
It's not so much counter-attacking in the sense that
just attacking. If you think about it, just playing football and just attacking with like 1-2s, quick 1-2s all around the pitch.
It's more like the pressing game that they play. where it puts the other team under pressure compared to, and when the other team, I mean in this case Juventus specifically, because of their contain and control game that they try to play.
Yeah.
So I think this strategy is a very good strategy. It's a very, like I said, it's a contrasting styles. You know, you put Ajax against any of the other teams in the quarters, and I don't know if they go through. I don't know if they do as well. But against Juventus, the matchup just seemed really favorable for them, just because of the style in which they played.
Okay, so what you want to bring out anything like Ronaldo managed to get on the score sheet
Yes.
again, but wasn't able to score anymore. I think, like I said, during the start of the season and throughout watching Juventus this season, I don't think Juventus are as strong as everyone thinks they are. This is because I think the Italian league in general is weak. So I don't. That's why I mean, like, they might be running away with the league, but in European like football standards, I don't think they're that great. They might. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not sure about that. I still do think Juventus is a strong team. Just because the Italian league is weak, I don't think that means that. I don't think that necessarily means that Juventus are weak. I mean, over the years, we've seen Bayern Munich be very strong in the Champions League, and they run away with the Bundesliga. So yeah.
Wait. Oh, you mean Germany? You mean Bayern?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying, like, I think their odds have been overinflated for this tournament this year, because I think they were the fourth favorite or something. And I don't think. I
mean, I don't know, because the thing is that you look at the other teams that are in the quarters, right?
Yeah.
Like, Man United, Barcelona, Liverpool, Porto, Tottenham City.
Yeah.
I think that they have very real chances to go through against all those teams, actually. Like, very, very real chances. Like, they'd be favorite in some of those games and they'd be underdogs in some of those games, but they wouldn't be like, oh no, they can't go through, or they're not good enough, or whatever. In fact, just looking at these teams, right, just on paper, right, there's you would probably say they're in the top four, strongest teams, like, or favorites to win the competition, most likely, I think.
Yeah, but I just don't think that they were good enough this year to win it, in my personal opinion. And I still think that Ajax.
I think it's a matchup thing. For this one, for me, it was a matchup thing.
True, but I still thought they would have enough quality to go through.
Yeah, well, it was surprising because the goals that they conceded. Yeah. One of them was from a corner. That was the De Ligt goal.
Yeah.
The first
to it, he beat the two players to it, and he's only 24 years old, or is it 19? No, he's 19 years old and he's a captain. Yeah, that's crazy.
He's the youngest captain ever, or something like that.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, and the other one was sorry.
The scorer was Donny van de Beek.
Yeah, Donny van de Beek, and it was from a mistake. Like, they gave the ball away.
Yeah.
That was like the first game, actually, when the fullback gave the ball away.
Cancelo,
So quite for an Italian team and for Juventus
to make mistakes like those,
quite uncharacteristic, actually.
Agreed.
So, but one of the reasons for that is because it is a product of the pressing game that Ajax were playing to put those players under pressure to give the ball away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, it's a matchup thing. And then, obviously the question then becomes, oh, well, every team could have done that then. Then why don't every team just do that? Then they'll be Juventus.
No, I think there's more to it.
It's not so easy. Right?
Yeah, like, every team now is trying to press high up the pitch, but it's like, it's a little hard.
Not every team can do it.
Yeah, not every team.
You need the right personnel.
Yeah.
You need the right system. And you need people to understand where they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to do. Yeah.
No, I think, if you watched, I watched the first game, and you could tell the team's very well coached. And there's also another thing, they're very young. They have legs,
Yeah.
very young, pacey team. You know, the whole front four. Meaning, okay, Tadic doesn't have is not pacey because he has that intensity about him. Then you get Shown, then you get Neres on the left and Ziyech on the right. Or yeah, I'm right. Yep. And they press collectively. You know, it's about pressing collectively rather than just pressing with like one player. You know, like back then you had like, you know, Suarez chasing the ball by himself for Liverpool, but this is like a whole collective, a whole unit pressing together. And I think it was
no, that's not true. Like, in order to play this pressing game, you need to press all together.
Yeah, all
as
together.
A unit.
Yeah, okay. The whole team is up there, but I'm just saying that, like, from what if you watch most of the time when, like, you know, Juventus try to pass, you know, when they try to pass out from the goalkeeper, you see the whole front four unit moving together across that line to make it difficult for them.
Yeah, but that is the system. Like, that is how you have to play, and that is, you know, a lot of credit for that goes to Jurgen Klopp, right? Because that's what he does. Yeah. Right. The thing is, you need to have the players to be able to do it. That's the most important thing, right? Yeah. Because the players need two or three. They need two things. One, they need the energy to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like you rightly pointed out, like, these Ajax guys, they're young, right? They have the legs. And two, and this is the harder part, you need players to understand how to do it and when to press. Because when one goes to the ball, right? You need to move a unit, right? So when one goes to the ball, everyone needs to move in the direction, or you need to cover off, you know, the passing lanes or whatever. Yeah. Right? And it needs to happen not just with the front three, but the two or three midfielders behind them as well, right? Because the problem with the pressing game is that if a player is out of position and the defender is good enough, right, they'll find that guy. They'll find the open man, right? Or they'll find the open passing lane, and all of a sudden you're on the back foot, right? Because then the ball just gets played through. It gets played through essentially five players by playing it. You play through midfield. You play through five players in midfield, and you're at a disadvantage at the back now.
Yeah. No, this is like no, I understand. It's like you know, futsal when you try to, like, forward will try to press the keeper and the keeper managed to get the ball off, so it's like a mismatch behind. So I think what I noticed from watching them play against Ajax in the first leg compared to them against Atletico, like you said, I think it's a matchup thing as well. You know, like, Juventus haven't really been forced to play high intensity football throughout the season, especially in the league, you know, because you know, Italian football is known for its, like, much more slower pace.
Yeah. All right, they don't play against this system.
Yeah, they don't play against this. Yeah, exactly. Against, like, Atletico Madrid, they don't have to worry about being pressed that highly up at that high intensity, and they probably got, like, you know, more control of the ball. And in this, like, the last two games, I think in the last game when they were away, Ajax commanded a lot, I think an equal amount of possession. The second game is the same. Both teams commanded an equal amount of possessions. In the second game, I'm reading stats, both had the same amount of shots, but Ajax managed one more in terms of shots on target, 4 shots, and they managed to convert them. So it's like, I think, like, Juventus definitely didn't dominate. It was quite an even game. And from looking at the highlights, it seemed like Ajax had created better chances compared to Juventus, even though they were away. So I think this leads on to the next question for when Ajax faces Tottenham, who won their game and got through, which we will talk about to close the show. Do you think Ajax will go through?
I think Ajax will go through, actually.
Oh. You think it was okay? All right. Okay. Before we go even further, I just want to quickly ask you right now. Make your predictions. Who's going to go to the final, and who's going to win it?
It's Barcelona for both.
Barcelona for both.
Yeah.
You want to make a bet? I'll take everyone else.
Yeah.
So for another $5.
Yeah.
Done. Did it. All right. Okay. Let's move on to the last game. And this was like a game full of talking points, I think. Left, right, and center. Tottenham City. So Tottenham went in with, I think, quickly. Tottenham went in with a 1-0 lead from the new stadium into the City of Manchester Stadium.
It's not called. It hasn't been called City of Manchester Stadium for years, man.
The Etihad Stadium. Sorry, I forgot. Etihad Stadium, and they managed to come through with a 3-4 loss, but they got through on the way. Barely. From watching the highlights and reading the reports, it sounded like the first 25 minutes were crazy. There were 5 goals scored in the first half. 3-2. It was 3-2 to City going into the second half. Sorry. So it started off with City scoring an amazing goal with Raheem Sterling curling it in after cutting in on the left hand wing against Danny Rose. No, against Kieran Trippier. And then I think straight away. No. Wait. So did City score twice first?
No, it was 1-0 and then 1-1 and then 2-1 and then.
Did you watch the game?
No, sorry. It's 1-0 and then 1-1 and then 2-1 to Spurs and then 2-2 and then 3-2 to City.
Yeah. I think don't you think it's amazing, despite the fact that Tottenham managed to score 2 away goals and City managed to come back to 3-2, 4-2 and so on. Like I thought that was like amazing that they still had that belief. Because like if you think about it, right? So
they only have to score 1 goal.
When they're
4-2 down, they only have to score 1 goal.
1 goal for it to be on equal terms, right?
For it to be even on aggregate, but then win on away goals. They lost 4-3 in the night.
Yeah, no. I mean, no. I understand that, but when City were when City were 2-1 up, when Tottenham were 2-1 up, City had to score 2 goals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that must have sucked. That would have sucked the life out of a lot of teams. I think. If you go
I think going into the game, everyone expected Spurs to score. So the idea is that I think going into the game, right? The game plan has to be we have to score 3 goals.
We have to outgun them.
Yeah, and the thing. Maybe what you're meaning, when you say other teams wouldn't be able to do that, wouldn't be able to like come back or whatever, it's because I think City are actually very confident that they will be able to score 3 goals.
No, yeah, okay,
right,
yeah,
because they are just such a good attacking team, and I think that's a partial contribution to why the game started the way it did, right?
Yeah,
the game started the way it did. It was very open because City were very like, we're gonna go on, we're gonna attack because we want to score 3 goals.
Yeah, but my point was this. I think City went in thinking that, okay, we might have to score 3 goals, but I don't expect Spurs to score 3, you know what I mean? I think if I asked you,
of course not. No
how
one
much money would you fucking put for Spurs to like pay me if I said Spurs were going to like score 3? You'd probably give me a lot of money considering they didn't have...
Yeah. I mean, of course. But you were saying that, you were saying that didn't you find it amazing that City can at 2-1 down can come back and score and make it 4-2? I was like, no, I don't think so, because I think that they expect that to win this matchup, they have to score a lot of goals. And coming in already, they know that we have to score 3 goals.
Yeah, no, but I mean like in terms of like the way the scores were like sorted, I thought like 10 minutes in, they were like 2-1 down. I think that would have sucked the life out of a lot of people. But I mean,
I don't know, because it doesn't change much, right? The only thing it changes is the fact that, all right, we have to score 1 more goal now.
Yeah, true.
Right? That's the only thing it changes, right?
And
if you come in with expectation that we have to score 3 goals, right? It's sort of like, all right, they score 1. All right, we have to score 1 more.
Yeah, and they leveled up straight away. And when they leveled up straight away, it was like, oh shit, but Man City probably thought, game on, man, game on. And then when they started the second half, Aguero managed to like get a goal. And then came the talking point, one of the big talking points of this segment, which was Llorente's winning goal. So do you think it was a handball?
It wasn't handball.
I don't think it wasn't handball. Nothing to talk about there then.
Yeah, nothing to talk about that.
And then come the last minute, there was a VAR called from a offside Aguero, which was very, very close. So Aguero was passed the ball to Sterling from an offside position, and Sterling managed to put the ball in the net. And it was when he put the ball in the net, I think everyone who was watching the game.
Yeah, I think everyone thought that they won it.
Yeah, they won it, and
there wasn't. The thing is that there wasn't any Spurs players who were like, "Oh no, it's offside."
Exactly. No, the players all accepted it. You see Guardiola jumping around, which you rarely do these days. The amount of emotion, and then I don't even know who made the call. Who made the referee double check for the decision?
So that's I think that's a talking point, right? In the sense that. Yeah. So the way that VAR is being used in the Champions League, right, is very interesting because I'm not sure who tells the ref, hey,
you need to check that again.
You need to check that game. Is it the guy in his ear that's telling him that? I think basically that means there's an official in the room, right? That's that's looking at everything and telling the referee on the ground, hey, you need to look at that again.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
I'm not sure. But if you watch all the highlights, the extended highlights which show you all these goal checks and VAR checks here and there, it seems like they're checking a lot of the goals. I think they double check it.
Yeah, but is that the default rule?
I think that
is that the default rule? Every goal, every offside decision will check.
I'm not sure, but it seems like it because if you watch all the highlights, every game there's a VAR check for every goal.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I don't think that's true.
No, almost
or rather, I never saw any for example, in the Liverpool game where they beat Porto 4-1. Yeah, I don't think there was a VAR check for any of the goals.
No, there was a VAR check for one or two of them. Because I was watching the video and there was VAR check, goal.
Yeah, but that's why I'm not sure of what the rule is, right? But yeah. I have to say that there also is a difference between how I've noticed they use VAR between the first leg and the second leg, actually. Because in the first leg, do you remember every time it goes VAR, the ref will go to the side of the pitch and look at the monitor.
Yeah, look at the monitor, yeah.
But this leg, there's no monitor.
They just wait for
the guy talking in his ear.
Yeah, it's the same NBA, right? When they get the people from the referee room to call in whether it's a tech or non-tech.
Yeah, sort of. But I just found it interesting how they changed it between the two legs. And then it becomes a question for me of so who's actually refereeing the game, right? Is it the guy who's watching the monitor somewhere else, or is it a referee in the pitch, right? Because in the first leg, when the ref goes to the monitor to watch the screen, right? My assumption is that it's the main ref that's the guy that's making the decision.
Yeah.
Right. But now, if he's not even looking at the screen, that means the main ref is not the guy making the decision, right? It's someone else. Because the main ref's not seeing anything, right? He's just being told by the guy in his ear.
It could be collective, no?
But he's not being told anything.
True. He's just true. No. Yeah, you're right. Because
rather he's not seeing anything.
It seems like he's not they'll be saying, "Oh, it's a handball," and he has to call it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
the decisions made.
One thing is so who's really reffing it? And then two, the question I guess is, does it matter? Because I have to say, amongst all the games, both first leg and second leg, I think that aside from some dodgy handball decisions, which I'm not sure I agree with, I think all the offside decisions have been absolutely correct.
Yes.
And I think that is what we want to see as fans.
Yeah, definitely. But I think
because that Sterling goal, right? That last goal, right?
Yeah.
Quote unquote goal. Like I said, no one at the time it happened, no one thought it was offside. No one thought it was offside. If there was no VAR, what would happen would be like, later on in the game or after the game, the analysts or the TV broadcasters would be like, oh, actually, it could have been offside. Let's look at the replay. Da, 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 da. And then they would discuss it, right? And then what would happen would be, then the manager kind of say, oh yeah, the referee shouldn't have missed that. We were robbed. Da 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 da.
Yeah. It stops that. It stops a lot of nonsense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's better.
Yeah, you could say some people argue that you make the game less human. And I think another one of the big drawbacks about VAR was very evident in that last moment of the game when you saw like all the City players thinking that they have won it and they didn't, and found out they didn't. That must have blew a hole in their confidence and so on.
No, I don't think so. I don't really think so, because that's the same as like how many times have we seen a player celebrates a goal and the referee had flagged offside, like the assistant ref had flagged offside.
Well, but this one there's more time. There's this was an awkward amount of time because everyone they all thought it was.
Yeah. No, I agree. But that's why I said between the first leg and the second leg. Now that there's no more, I thought the implementation of VAR in the second leg was so much better because it actually reduced the amount of time it took for the decision to be made. Yeah. Compared to the first leg. On the first leg, the ref runs over to the monitor. That takes some time. He has a look. He looks at it a few times. If he's the guy making the final decision, he's under pressure. Because he's on the pitch. He has to. But it. Yeah. This implementation in the second leg, I reckon, was so much better.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. And it's also because you get more eyes to look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, I take your point where, you say maybe it might have an issue on, because you're on such a high, right, after you score the goal. But in this instance, I don't think it was really that big a factor because it was the 93rd minute anyway.
Yeah, but it's how it feels like. It probably feels like, yo, Justin, you just beat. I'm like your doctor, right? Like, yo, Justin, you just beat, your lung cancer. Then you're like, oh, fuck, really? No, yeah, but you got testicular cancer.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, I understand. But if you, but then, if you then gave me a choice, right, saying, do you want me to tell you that you beat lung cancer, but you got testicular cancer, or would you rather me tell you,
No, dude, it's fucking different.
You beat lung cancer, full stop, and don't tell me about testicular cancer, and then I die of testicular cancer. Which would I prefer? Right? I said I prefer you tell me about the testicular cancer.
No, but that's different. That's a false equivalency, because if that didn't happen, imagine you're a United fan and you benefited from this, and you're in the finals. Do you care?
Yeah, no, I agree. But the thing about VAR, the thing about this VAR thing, right, is that I think even if you ask a City fan, right, I think the City fan would tell you, I would rather them make the right decision.
No, yeah, okay, no, I think we've had this argument before. It's the best because it's like the fair, like you're making it fairer,
Yeah,
it's not
exactly
fair, but you're improving refereing standards of this game. You're reducing the amount of errors,
exactly. And the thing about like we've talked about the handball one before, right?
Yeah.
I think handball is one that can be still very controversial even with VAR. Yeah. But I think offside is very,
black and white.
It's more black and white, right?
Yeah.
And you ask any City fan today, I think they will also say, even Pep said, yeah, it was offside.
Yeah. No. I think so. I have no complaints. Like, if you think about it, who knows, even in the future, you might not even need cameras, right? It'll be on your boot, and then there'll be sensors along the pitch.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's done. And remember, we were talking about the handball situation, and now the football association of the world is reviewing I think FIFA are reviewing the handball rules. That talking about if they're jumping in a natural with their hands in a natural position, it won't be called handball. And I think that's the right thing to do.
As well they should.
Yeah, it's a hard. These things are hard to govern, and it will always be hard to govern because it's part of sport, right? people jumping around everywhere and all these like different situations. Things.
But we spoke about it. Yeah, but we spoke about it in the last episode, right? Then it becomes a question of like, what is a natural position? And I think that question in itself is hard to answer sometimes.
True, and I think that is why I think it will, like, the more it's like that new like kind of like ruling will be implemented. The more practice, the more time you work on it, the better it will get. And I think it's way better. It's a way better direction than the old, the ones before, where if the ball hits you like anywhere with your arms above like a certain position, it's a penalty. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I agree, but I think at the end of the day, this Spurs game, there's still more to talk about this game, by the way, but just on the VAR topic, I think, coming off the World Cup where I thought VAR was very good, now we're seeing in the Champions League, the VAR is very good as well.
And next year,
like these are the two biggest tournaments in the world.
Yeah.
And in both instances, in both tournaments, I think as a whole, you can say VAR like did a good job.
Yeah. No, I think so. No, I think VAR was a step in the right direction for the game. And you know what? Yeah, I think I hope.
I'm glad to see it's going to be in the Premier League next season.
Yeah, I think it's a good direction for them, and I hope they just they fix the handball decisions. I know it'll be hard, but
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Wait, but coming back to the City game, all right?
Yes.
Coming back to this
who's going to win the third
City game? So, you thought
Spurs were going to go through?
You thought Spurs were going to go through?
Gang.
I
so
thought City was going to go through.
I got 2 out of the 4 right.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough.
I mean, take the United one out. Fuck the United one. I got 2 out of the 3 right.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
You got 1 out. Okay, if you take the United one, you got 2 out of the 4 right, because you thought Juventus were going to go through, even though you made the discount.
No, you're right. I don't deny that. Yeah, all right. I'm a man of my convictions. I don't deny that.
Okay, cool. So we made the same amount of right like predictions.
Yeah. But anyway, this because there's a lot of talk about this Spurs game, right?
Yeah, there's.
One thing is that I am just City, man. How do you concede 3 goals, man, to this Spurs team?
Against a caneless Spurs? No. And we obviously have to tip our hat off to our Asian brother from another mother, Son.
But probably the same father.
Yeah, probably from the same father. Shout out Genghis Khan. Yeah. Fuck me, man. Kim Son-min.
Yeah, Son Heung-min. Did amazing. Scored 2 real good goals. Don't get me wrong, but Man City should not be conceding 3 goals at home. You know what I mean? To any team. Like, they are good enough not to concede 3 goals to any team, not just Spurs, any team.
Okay, but they did.
So
what does it mean?
Big choke. Right?
And
I'm not sure if part of the reason for that is, or Kyle Walker's not there, but I don't think that's the big reason.
Walker was there. What do you mean?
Kyle Walker, no, he didn't play the game.
Go watch. He did. I'm looking at the lineup right now. Kyle Walker played for City. So the back four was Kyle Walker, Vincent Kompany, Laporte, and Mendy on the left, which I'm very surprised.
Sorry, my bad. But then you got for that goal. I can't remember which goal it was. Then Laporte makes the mistake to give the ball away.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing
but that wasn't really. He didn't mean to give it away. It just bumped his. It just bounced in a way and then knocked onto his feet. He didn't really pass it to give it away. It kind of bounced off him, if you know what I mean.
But regardless, the thing is, Man City should not be conceding 3 goals, right?
Yep.
Yet they did. So I think that's a big sort of. I think that's a choke, right? Like that's a choke on this team.
And I can't wait for them to fucking choke for the league.
Yeah, so that's a big choke, right? Yeah. And I don't know. It's because maybe like I said, my theory is that they went into this game thinking we need to score 3 goals, right? So maybe they were too sort of obsessed with we have it to score these goals rather than being solid in defense.
If you compare the first lineup and this lineup, the first lineup they didn't start with De Bruyne. They started with Gundogan, Silva, and Fernandinho. And this one was definitely way more attacking.
Yeah, but it's also because they're playing at home.
Yep, agree.
Right? Like we spoke about this, right? Like
Fernandinho.
Because you brought this up last week, and my theory was that, well, you're playing away, you want to be more solid. I can understand that.
Yeah.
De Bruyne will probably play in the home leg, and he did. So yeah, like and that's not the worst part. The worst part is that they conceded the goal after Fernando Llorente came on.
Yeah.
Because in that second half, so you didn't watch the game, right?
Yeah.
But in that second half, right? So Musa Sissoko got injured.
And he was playing well.
Yeah. But Musa Sissoko got injured, and they brought on Fernando Llorente.
Yeah.
Now Musa Sissoko is central midfield, right? Fernando Llorente is a forward, forward, classic centre forward. So what it did, right, was that it necessitated a change of formation.
Yeah.
Right? Because Spurs started essentially with a 4-4-2. Essentially.
Yeah. A diamond, right?
Yeah. And what happened was that when Sissoko comes off, there's no sort of quote unquote like for like replacement for him on the Spurs bench.
Yeah.
Right? So Pochettino has to brought on Llorente. And when they brought Llorente, right, they shifted Son to left wing. Yeah. Right. So they became a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
And after they became a 4-3-3, right? City dominated that second half. Right? Because Sissoko came off just before halftime. So in the second half, they played that whole half as 4-3-3.
Yeah.
City dominated that game. Right? They dominated the second half. They had so many chances, even though Spurs were defending.
Yeah.
A lot of chances. And I think the reason for that was because Llorente slows the game down for them, right?
Oh,
whereas before, when you have Son up front.
From watching the last few weeks, you realize that, man, he's one of those like classic like Luca Toni or something. You just put it in the ball.
Classic centre forward. Yeah.
Yeah, classic centre forward.
Yeah. So when their game plan changed and they had to change because of the injury.
Yeah.
Right. Like you can see, like all of a sudden they're strong. Right, like City are dominating this game now, as you expect City to do, right?
Yeah.
And then City go and concede a weak goal from a corner, right, which was not a handball.
Yeah. From watching the replay, I would have expected Vincent Kompany to have done better marking, because Vincent Kompany was the one put on Llorente.
Yeah.
And he managed to let Llorente score, who hasn't scored over the last few weeks. I think he scored maybe one goal when Kane was gone. So he's not even in form. So
but they don't. It's because they don't play him, right? Like they prefer to play Son, right? They prefer to play Son in the upfront, in that
or Lucas
centre forward position, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like for me, it's just like a choke, right? Because City have everything at that point going in their favor, in the sense that they're creating a lot of chances. They're dominating the second half, yet they let Llorente score another one.
After that Silva goal, after the Aguero goal, you mean? Like they had everything going for them.
Even before the Aguero goal, like they had chances, man. Like Sterling had one where he shot into Lloris, and Lloris spilled it, and then I think it was Danny Rose or someone that stopped Bernardo Silva from putting in the rebound, I think.
Oh right,
There was another one from, I think there was a shot from was it De Bruyne? Someone. Yeah, but there were chances before the Aguero goal, and the Aguero goal came in 57 minutes, something like that. Like City were dominating, man.
Yeah.
And even like you said, after the Aguero goal, they were on top as well. Like the Llorente goal came against the run of play.
Mm.
So it was pretty disappointing from a City perspective that they let this game slip, because they should have won this game easily.
Yeah. And now Spurs are going into the next leg. I think definitely way weaker now. Now they don't have Sissoko. They're probably now forced to play Llorente.
You know who else they don't have?
Son. What this? Oh, Son got. Is he suspended?
He's suspended for the first leg.
Yeah, true. So they're gonna have to focus on Lucas Moura. Did they take Lucas Moura off because he was injured, or because he just didn't have a good game?
I think they took him off because they wanted to just show,
Go up.
Solidify a bit.
Fair enough. But because I'm looking at their bench and I'm going like, yeah, they have a lot of defensive options in Ben Davis, Kyle Walker-Peters, Davison Sanchez, and the rest are just like youth players, right? Like one fourth. Because Gazaniga is the keeper, and Oliver Skip, who I don't know who that is.
Young player who can play central midfield. So there was an argument about why didn't they put in Skip instead of Llorente? But then this question like, do you want to trust Skip to play, in this massive game, right? So coming back full circle, right? When you ask me who I think will win between Ajax and Spurs, the reason I think Ajax will win is because I think Spurs lack depth.
Definitely.
They lack depth of their bench, right? Because you can see, like, when Sissoko went down, right?
Alarm bells.
Pochettino doesn't have a lot of options.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't have a lot of options. So he has to bring on Llorente. So, and the thing is, like, at that point in time, right, in the 41st minute, Spurs were leading. Oh, sorry. It was 3-2.
3-2, yes.
Yeah, it was 3-2, right? Spurs didn't need to score a goal. So they didn't need to bring on a striker, right? What he could have done, what Pochettino could have done was, okay, we're going to bring on, it could have been all of a Skip. Maybe they bring on, I don't know, like, I don't know if Walker-Peters can play that central midfield. I know he's a wide player, like he's a fullback, but I don't know if he can play that central midfield role or whatever. But they didn't have to bring on an attacking player.
Yeah.
But in some ways, it seems like Pochettino was forced to because he had no other option.
Yeah.
And then when they bring him on, Spurs play differently, right? They're not as strong. Yeah,
they played the very classic 4-3-3, I would assume, right? Where they relied on Son and Moura to expand the pitch up front.
Yeah, but then it becomes like their whole plan or the way they play of like, compared to the first half, right, where they were like, like speed, right? The whole game was around speed, right? Yeah, suddenly you bring on this player, he slows the whole game down for you.
Yeah, true. So I think I know what you're trying to get at. Like, City had it all to win for, and Spurs were forced to change their game plan ad hoc in the midst of being behind against Manchester City.
No, they weren't behind. They were ahead.
Before they put Llorente on?
Yeah, they were ahead. They were 3-2 down on the night, but they would go through on away goals.
So, but then they put Llorente on, and then City scored with Aguero and...
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I mean... And I think
what I'm saying is at the time they brought Llorente, they didn't need to score a goal.
Yeah. Understood.
Right? They were already through.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
So that's why I think that Ajax will go through against Spurs, because I just think that Spurs, because with Kane out as well, right?
Yeah.
I think that Spurs, they lack some depth in their squad in order to, go through it. Having said that, Spurs do have the more experience throughout the team, and also I think they have players who are more used to playing the big stage just by virtue of playing in the Premier League.
Or maybe in terms of matchup wise, it will fit. It fits them a bit way better than Juventus. Because they're used to playing this high pressing game against a few of the teams in the Premier League which try to implement it. Maybe not as well as Ajax, but I think it'll be interesting.
In terms of pure matchup, I think if both clubs have all their players, I think in terms of pure matchup, I think Spurs match up pretty well actually.
Yeah. But this team, this current subdued, weakened team.
I just have concerns on that on on their offensive capability.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I don't know. I think like come closer to the semi-final date, I'll have a better picture because I want to see what happens in the next Tottenham City game.
Yeah. And also like
City react, and I obviously hope City just are in a bad place right now, and they just don't turn up and they lose the league title as well, which would make it a better.
I don't know because between City and Liverpool, I prefer City to win it.
Still,
yeah.
Okay, what if they were like dead on to win the Champions League, like they were facing like Ajax in the final, and they had the league game to decide. Do you still want them to win the league, to win the quadruple? Or
I don't want to win the quadruple, but like I said before, I didn't think that they would win the quadruple.
Okay, let's just say they're in a position to win every cup except the Premier League. They're going to win everything, and the Premier League would be like the final icing on the cake. I know, even though the schedule that doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense in a real life schedule. Would you still want them to win the league then, or would you rather Liverpool win it?
That's a really tough question, actually.
Obviously, the right question is you let Liverpool win, because I think City and United are probably are more financially like wealthy, right? So they have like more resources or like higher capability of winning in a longer period time frame compared to Liverpool, in my personal opinion.
No, but the reason that United fans don't want Liverpool to win the league,
it's because of the league title.
Yeah, it's because of the league. It's because of the number of titles and also the drought.
You have to understand that, like in the coming years, like you have to think more long term, right? I would like to think like, yes, if City is in a real dominant phase right now, right? They're still gonna be there next year. Whereas if like, I feel like Liverpool is more of a selling club compared to City and United.
I mean, yes, I would say so, but I don't know about that going forward, actually, because I think Jurgen Klopp has really stabilized this club.
Maybe. So you think if like Real Madrid or Barcelona comes calling for anyone in the front three, you think they will all stay?
If Liverpool win the league, 100%. If they win the Champions League and they finish second in the league, I think more likely than not they will stay as well.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
Because the thing about these sort of clubs, right, is that I mean, of course, I understand that there's the general appeal of Madrid, but like Liverpool have shown that they can challenge at the top, right, over the past 3, 4, 5 seasons, right, and that's what all players want, right? They want to be able to challenge at the top, and the thing is not just at the top of their league, but in the Champions League as well, right? Yeah. I mean, it looked like Liverpool were in the final last year, and now they're in the semi, and they're playing against Barcelona.
Yeah,
like these are the games that every player wants to play. So then it becomes a question of, all right, if you go to Madrid, what's better in Madrid? What do you have in Madrid that you can't have here at Liverpool? And the answer is maybe Madrid is maybe it's a dream club, or maybe they have a bit more reputation. It's like the glitz and the glamour, right? But I think but then it becomes less of a factor, because last time, like for example, when Coutinho went to Barcelona, right, or Suarez went to Barcelona, right, the answer is very easy. Why do I want to go to Barcelona? Because I can win the Champions League, because I can win the league, because they're Barcelona and there's glitz and glamour. Whereas now, if you ask like Salah now, do you want to go Madrid? He can't say no. He can't say, of course I want to, because they can compete in the Champions League and they can compete in the league. Because Liverpool will say, you can do that here too.
True.
Whereas they couldn't say that to Coutinho and they couldn't say that to Suarez.
Or these players could have been like, oh, I won the league here already. Why don't I go over there and try La Liga? That's possible as well.
That's possible, but the thing is, they haven't won the league. True.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, but I still think it's not. I'm not saying it's not stable, but it's not at the top, the forefront of the big, as in like players. All these players want to go there. I still feel like looking at Liverpool, it looks like a bit, not a stepping stone, but kind of a stepping stone into the the likes of Barcelona or Real Madrid, in my personal opinion.
I sort of understand what you mean in the context of like, let's say like Neymar becomes available tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. Like the clubs that are going to be linked to him and the clubs that he's going to be talking about are probably going to be Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, Bayern Munich, like those sort of clubs, right?
Yeah.
And Liverpool will probably not be one of them, right?
Yeah.
But I think the partially for that is also because Liverpool probably don't have the money, or I don't know if they don't have the money or don't want to spend that sort of money on that sort of player.
I think that like the sport group, I think they have money, but they just don't put Liverpool hasn't been well known to have like a huge purse. Like I mean, they spend money. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the same like atmosphere such as Man City, the Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, United, and so on. Yeah. So like,
but a lot of clubs don't have that sort of money. So,
and
in that context, in terms of like the very, very best, very, very, very best players in the world, I can agree with you and to some extent that they don't see Liverpool as a viable place to go. But you know what? If they win the league and they win the Champions League this season, maybe that changes.
True. No, I agree with you. But I mean, it'll be very interesting come this transfer season where a lot of teams are going to be like investing. I believe Juventus. Juventus have they're suddenly strapped with a lot of cash for some reason. Signing Aaron Ramsey is going to be the 5th most well-paid player in the world.
Yeah.
Next season,
so there'll be players that I think there'll be players that leave Juve. There'll definitely be players that leave Barcelona.
But I don't think there's going to be big movers. Like there's not going to be players like in Juve that you're going to be like, oh, I really want him, except Dybala.
Maybe Dybala. But like Barcelona, Barcelona on the verge of signing the leagues.
Yeah. Buy it. They already signed De Jong, so now
they already signed Frankie De Jong. Now they're on the verge of signing the leagues. So and the news is that in order for it to make financial sense for them to do that, because the rumors they're going to pay 80 mil, they have to sell someone.
And it seems like Coutinho. Yeah,
most likely it'll be Coutinho, but I think they have to sell more as well.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, Coutinho, Umtiti has been like in the rumor report, like in the rumor mill recently. So yeah, like it's going to be a real interesting time come.
It will be. It's very exciting, but usually like around this time of the season, you start to sort of think about transfer window, and sometimes that speculation can be more exciting than what's currently going on.
Yeah, but, of course. Like
no man, like now what's currently going on is very exciting.
Yeah, not gonna lie, man. Even though the playoffs is going right now, I think the best articles I read are like what's gonna happen with the Lakers next year.
I don't give a shit about Lakers, to be honest.
Who's gonna be head coach? Who's gonna come in and be like LeBron's new super team? I think these are it's just very interesting, and after like reading this morning like what happened, what Son did for Spurs, I was like, you know what? It's time for United to get their that diversity up again. Get that Asian player with that. And I thought like Son would be perfect.
Well, I don't know if I told you after the World Cup. I probably did because I remember telling everyone. I thought Son was so good during the World Cup.
Oh, the World Cup, yeah.
In the group that they were in, he was clearly the best player on the pitch.
Definitely.
Against Germany, South Korea against Germany, he was clearly the best player on the pitch.
He scored that last winner.
And I said, United should get him in that window. They didn't. And then now he's proved what a good player he is. But the way Spurs are going, I don't think they're going to sell anyway. And I don't think he was going to leave anyway. So yeah,
they just got the new stadium, man. They need to pay off some debts. Who knows?
Yeah, but like, come on, man. Spurs are in the semis, finals of Champions League, and they don't have a 0% chance of winning the Champions League, which is crazy to think about. So yeah,
true.
They have a very real chance of making it to the final, and once you're in the final, anything can happen.
Remember the days when they were in the Champions League with Gareth Bale? They would beat Inter Milan, but then they'll face Real Madrid and get like thrashed 4-0. Those days are over.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on, man. Like this side of the draw, like Spurs against
Ajax.
Who would have thought that would be that side of the draw?
Yeah, man. Agreed.
But yeah, like Ajax have a great chance of winning Champions League. Spurs have a great chance of winning Champions League. Like
it's like what we said. Like it's like what we said like a few weeks ago. That what a great year for Champions League football.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
I'm so excited to see what's going to happen. Liverpool could win the double at the end of the season. Or Liverpool could win the
like City could win a treble.
Yeah,
and it would be a disappointing year for them.
Yeah, definitely. But I still have hopes that I think City will slip up. City is about to face both Spurs and United back to back.
Yes.
And all these games are important for each respective team.
Yeah, the thing is, like in the top 6 now, top 6, like every game is a must-win game.
Yeah, every game is true. It's gonna be so good. I can't wait. Like I'm so excited for this Saturday's game. It's like 7:30 my time, like 9:30 at yours for that Spurs City game. I think it'll be great. I think that's it for this week.
Yeah, let's end on a warm and fuzzy note where that everything is great.
Everything is great. All right, thanks guys for listening. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.